Hello, everybody. This is Alia Jamal, the love coach. We are meeting for another love circle. And today we are talking about mastering your personal power slash influence. So let's talk about it, what it is. Each and every one of us have our own power. You can call it inner power, and that is living through us as we are moving through life. You want to achieve something, you have a goal in front of you. It's your personal power, it's your inner power that's going to move you towards that goal. What's the opposite of that? Staying stuck in a place where you feel like you're not getting anywhere. You feel like a hamster on the wheel. So when we are in the hamster in the wheel situation, we are giving away our power without even realizing it. So in other words, the power we have to influence ourselves, to influence our life, to influence other people, when it's kind of having a leakage in it, we don't have enough of it that we can kind of like outshine. That's when we feel stuck. So today I want to share a little bit of a deeper process with all of you. Just letting somebody in. I'm sharing a little bit of a deeper process with you, how to stay in your own power. So no matter what is going on in your life, no matter where you are, but you can stay in that power and you can be an empowered being and you can change the lives of other people and you can change the life of yourself, your own life. So what is this power that we have? We are not able to see it. What is it? So it's very simple. It's our power to think and choose in each and every moment. Now you might say, well, I think all the time. Yes, we do think all the time based on what is sitting in our unconscious mind, our behavior and pattern. But when we are conscious about those thoughts, that's when we are in our power. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of example of like, an animal. So a squirrel innately has in its DNA that I'm going to go out, I'm going to get the nut. It's not thinking about it. It's leaving the tree knowing that there's going to be food out there. It's not thinking about it. It's completely living on its nature, the way it was born. It's almost like autopilot. They are living on autopilot. But human, we do have the autopilot mechanism, which is generally filled with negative stuff. So we are on autopilot creating that negativity in our life. But once we become conscious of that mechanism, that's when we can make anything happen. That's when we see somebody hitting rock bottom, and then all of a sudden they got hold of their health, they got hold of their relationship, they got back their financial strength as well. What has happened? That person has gone from living according to their negative programming to really stepping into their power and empowering themselves and living that. So it's all in our mind, how we think. So what I'm going to do with today's conversation, I'm going to show you 8 different ways that we give away our power. So let's say if this beautiful rose quartz is the power that I have here with me all the time. When I think 8 of these things or these way, I give this power to someone else. So if I gave this power to someone else, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to be stuck and I'll be like, I can't do anything. That is also a place of being a victim. And sometimes we feel like, I'll be a victim only if I've been in domestic violence or abuse or this and that. No, in our thoughts, we are more victim than we can ever realize. So my goal is to take us a little deeper into that area. And then I'll be sharing 10 different ways of thinking where you get to keep this power. That's where the growth is. This topic is very deep. We can take each and every one of these headlines and we can have a session of their own. So I'm going to go a little faster. If you ever have any question, again, reach out to me, Alia the Love Coach. Google it. You'll find me on social media. You can be, a complete random stranger finding my video somewhere, but just do that. Reach out to me. I'm here to help you. This is what I'm here to do. So please don't hesitate to ask questions. And for those of us who are watching us on Facebook, you can always just post questions there and I'll get to them. Okay, so the first way, I'm going to talk about 8 different ways I give away my power when I start to think that way. You can call them filters. Those are the filters, how you're looking at the world, or you can just say, these are the ways I think. So the first one is, you're always looking for safety. So in your mind, you're just looking to be safe. So when you're thinking about making a plan with your friends, you're just thinking about, would it be safe? Will I be safe there? Would I be too close to the water? Would it be too fast of a roller coaster? Your mind is just focused on safety. When I'm focused on safety, a different part of me is active. That means the unlimited part of me cannot be active. If I am focused on safety, I can never live my full potential. Yes, there are people in the world who only focus on the safety. They live with that thing as primary. And those are the people who have a good nest to retire with. But when they are on their deathbed, now this session is going to be brutal honest. So we have to have the courage to look at that honesty. If we won't do that, we are not changing. So those are also the people who, when they are on their deathbed, they're like, you know what? I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to write a book. I wanted to share this message. I wanted to be an artist, and I didn't do any of that, because doing all of that is outside of safety. And what we have learned in previous love circles, that safety is just the need to be in control. And our true safety is accepting our divine nature. And if that is a topic of interest, again, reach out to me. I'll be happy to send you that link. Whenever you're thinking for safety of your kids, safety of yourself, catch yourself. And I'm going to give you 10 different ways you can replace this thought. But first thing is catch it. As soon as you catch it, you realize, oh my God, I was just giving away my power. We don't want to give away our power, because we want to use that power to create change in our life, to really live our full potential. So that's the first one. The second one, whenever we go into blame, whenever I am thinking about something where I'm blaming somebody, even if that person has done the worst to me, but I'm saying it's their fault because they did that. If they wouldn't have done this, I wouldn't be here. Again, I am giving away my power. How I'm giving away my power? Because I am putting blame on them. I never have to do anything about it. And if I don't do anything about it, I am stuck. But we want to get unstuck and live our full potential in this lifetime. And the third one is, it's not my fault. So whenever someone says something to you and you're like, oh, it's not my fault, it's like weather's fault, it's this fault, what is happening there? I'm deflecting responsibility, but I'm also looking for safety. It's a protection mechanism. Usually people get very angry and they will say, it's not my fault. I have been there myself. I have gone through all stages of that anger, where I just wanted someone else to take the responsibility, someone else to take the blame. But again, I'm giving away my power. If I say, again, I'll give you the replacement, but instead of blaming somebody, in that moment, I say, you know what? I am responsible in this moment, at least if not the action, the way I'm acting. It is my responsibility. What am I doing? I'm bringing all the power home. No one else has that power. The person I wanted to blame so bad doesn't even exist anymore. It's all within me now. And with that power, I can create a change within me and then outside of my circumstances. So we don't want to deflect responsibility. We want to take responsibility for everything. The fourth one is looking for reasons why I can't. So this one gets tricky. Pay attention to whenever in your mind, maybe you're thinking about a new idea, you're thinking about a new project, you're maybe thinking about, finally going on your dream vacation, and the mind keeps saying, oh, I can't because of this, because of that, I can't. Learn and practice to catch yourself in that moment and just ask yourself, is it really true? Is it really true that I can't? Because what's happening, once again, you're giving away your power to the circumstances, to the situation, maybe to another person. Maybe you think that you need somebody else's permission. A lot of time, us women, we think, in order for me, I come across that a lot. I do deep emotional healing work with my clients. A lot of time, some of my, prospect clients, they will feel like they need someone else's permission to do this work. There was a time I felt that too, that I need someone else's permission to do this work. The very first time I wanted to sign up with my first coach, I talked to everybody who was in my close circle. Yeah, I want to sign up with this coach. And I was looking for them to say, oh, yeah, you should. But if they are not doing that work, they can't think like that. But we are always looking for outside of validation or someone to say, oh, yeah, you can. Unless that happened, we would just stay stuck in our I can't. But I am the only person who can move past that. So whenever you have I can't, just know that this is the way you're giving away your power. And you are going to stay stuck. And you are going to stay in that hamster in the wheel situation, not being able to break through yourself. And all these things that I'm talking about, these ways of thinking, these filters that we look at our life with, they come from our unconscious mind. These are those unconscious wounds that were created in our childhood that we have not worked on. And the good news is you don't have to sit here and work on all of that before you can move forward. You can just take the information from what I'm sharing with you today and you can implement it today in real time, and you can start creating a different future for yourself. So don't get so bogged down with, oh my God, that is a lot. That's exactly how I think. It's very easy to switch the way we think. The first most important part is becoming aware of it. When we become aware of, oh, I am thinking in the I can't, you can switch it into I can. Okay, the next one is negative self-talk. Negative self-talk comes from a toxic relationship between you and you. You're not just going to get over it. The more you become aware of it, the more you can take it in a different direction. And if you want to go deep and you want to heal that relationship, feel free to reach out to me. That is my specialty, improving your relationship with yourself. But this is what's happening when you are bashing yourself. Sometimes, unfortunately, we use really insulting words for ourselves in our head. On the top, we are a very happy person, but in our mind, we are calling all kind of names to ourselves. What's happening when I am throwing stones at myself? I am literally stabbing my own energy body. Now, when I have a weaker energy body, there's an energy leakage. I don't feel as strong. So what has happened to my power? I have literally just dropped it on the floor. I'm not even giving it away to somebody else. I have literally just dropped it on the floor because I'm using my hands, using a metaphor here. I'm using my hand to attack myself. So where did the power go? It's sitting on the floor. The reason we get into negative self-talk, it's a false intimacy that we have with ourselves. The reason I'm saying false, it feels very intimate when I sit down and I say, what's wrong with you? Why can't you get it together? Why can't you be like everybody else? That beating myself up does get work done. That's why I got into that habit of doing it. But in the process, I am damaging myself. I am giving away my power. And it's very, very detrimental when we do that, when we do go to the negative self-talk route. So what we are going to do for now, just become aware of it. Oh, these are the ways I talk negative to myself. Maybe you're comparing yourself, maybe you're calling names to yourself, maybe your expectations of you are way beyond a human being is capable of. Maybe you're expecting to have a full-time work, be the perfect mom, have a side successful business as well, also be present in your community, also be doing all kind of volunteer work. I do know of women who have those high expectations of themselves because they're trying to prove to themselves, I am enough, I can do this, I can serve all these people, while they are just having that toxic relationship between themselves. So just take a look. Do you have like unhuman expectations of yourself? And then you use negative self-talk to push yourself to do things. So introducing some kindness there. But for now, just become aware of, do you talk negative to yourself? Are you aware of it? If not, focus on it. Like, just ask yourself, did I just talk negative to myself here right now? So what we are talking about, usually our focus is out here somewhere. We are focused on what am I doing, what's going on. We want to bring our focus in here and become aware of what's going on here. What are the thoughts that are going in the front? What are the thoughts that are going in the background? That's the level of awareness we are seeking in this moment to create the shift. The next one is the sixth one. It always happens to me. So when I think like it always happens to me, things never work out for me, I have completely closed the door to my inner power. So this inner power is completely outside and I am complete shut because that is my way of looking at the world. Things never work out for me. Become aware of that way of thinking. And if you do have similar thoughts, that means you are giving away your power. You're not master of your own power and of your influence. The next one is, and that is the seventh one, it's karma. I deserve it. Now, karma can be a very tricky word, depending on how much you have studied it. If you come from a very spiritual community only, and the reason I'm saying spiritual community only, I am part of a very spiritual community, pranic healers, energy healing, and I'm also in the coaching community where everything is very structured, think you can shift. So when we go towards spirituality, sometimes we give all the blame to our past lives, to God, to life situations. Some people stay in negative situations because they're like, maybe I can undo my negative karma in this lifetime, so I need to stay here and suffer. And that is a very unhealthy way of understanding these things. That is, again, you're giving away the power to this unseen force, your past life, God, higher power, universe, that is doing this to you. And you're just like, I deserve it. Again, you gave away your power. You're not actively doing anything to move the ship that you're in. You're not being the master of that ship. So an easier way to understand karma is you could have done anything in the past, but this moment, this powerful moment that you are in right now, you can make a different choice and you can live a different future moment. But you have to be in this moment. So you can say like, oh, I did past life regression. I was like horrible. And in this lifetime, I came to just suffer. Let's say you are living with that awareness. So then become very honest with yourself. Do I want to suffer in the next moment? No. If I don't want to suffer in the next moment, what do I have to do in my head? How do I have to think, behave, act that I am not suffering, that I can bring myself out of it. So bringing it back to you do have a choice. And we are going to talk about 10 different ways you are going to start thinking from now on. But if karma is an issue, um, read a little bit more about it, different perspective. Reach out to me, have a conversation. Maybe I can help you change your mind on karma. And I can teach you how you are creating your own life each and every single moment. Doesn't matter who you were in the past life, past 10 years, this life, or how you think the higher power is testing you. If you're ready, there's another way to understand karma. The eighth and the last way of thinking where we give away our power, that is everyone is against me. Now that is like victim on top of victim on top of victim way of thinking. And sometimes we are not even aware that at the back of our mind, that is the thought that's running. So I am the youngest in six of us. So for the longest time, I had this thought in me, none of my siblings like me the way they are. I am so different because I am younger than them. I had to get very honest with myself to even see that thought. You might have a different version of it. You might have a different version of it in terms of where you are in your life, what kind of relationship with you have with your family, with your intimate partner, with the world in general. Maybe you think in your community, you're just so different. The kind of work you do is very different and everyone is against you. I lived that identity for quite a bit and it was not happy. And then I let it go and I learned how to think in an empowered way where I get to keep my power. So these are the 8 different ways we think. You can again call them filters that you look at the world with. Our job is to become aware of these 8 ways of thinking. And, there could be even more in your mind. Just become aware, learn to catch them. And then we are going to switch them to these next 10. So these are the empowered filter or empowered way of thinking. These are the 10 ways of thinking that you master your own personal power and influence. This is when this power stays right here. No one can take it away from you. No circumstances, no situation. You're in control of every single thing. There are 10 ways. First one, I cause my life. It took me almost a year to understand this one sentence, but hopefully I can explain it to you faster than that. I cause my life. Everything that I am experiencing, whether it's a beautiful moment, whether it's a challenging moment, I have created it. It's not God that has created it. It's not the universe that has created it. I have created it. And it comes from my own unconscious mind. It's almost like there's a program in my unconscious mind based on the beliefs that I have, the way I think, the way I behave, and the desire that I have for future. Now, sometimes we are not even aware that we are putting out a very negative desire out for the future because we just think we are not good enough. So from that film, the program that's in there, I'm creating the movie that I am living right now. I am doing it. Again, this is a place of deep honesty. If we are not getting that honest with ourselves, usually it's because we are afraid of judging ourselves. We don't want to feel so bad towards ourselves because we go into blame. We go into like, why would I do such thing to myself? So this is a place where we put the judgment to a side because judgment is again negative self-talk. It's going to take you right back into giving away your power and become curious like a child. I just experienced that. What within me created that? If you didn't like the experience, if you like the experience, what within me created that? So you can create that same beautiful experience over and over and over. But just start looking at life with this honesty. I am creating everything that I'm experiencing. I am the cause. It's going to start keeping your power at home, and you will start to expand the way you look and the way you think. And if that feels a lot, um, let me know, and I might even create a whole training just talking about that. Okay, so the second one is I create my thoughts, feelings, and actions. So whatever I am experiencing in a moment, I am creating it. For example, someone can come to me and they can say, Alia, I hate you. If I feel hurt in that moment, that person did not create that feeling. I did as a reaction to what they said. And if someone come and they say, hey, I love you, and I'm feeling so happy, like I'm getting happier after they said that, I am creating that feeling of happiness. This is that nuance that can take you from suffering to liberation in a split second. But again, it requires that ownership and awareness. Oh, between the time they say something and I feel something, there is this split second where very quickly in my mind, I run the way I think, where I give it a meaning, and then I create the feeling. Now, if someone has done this kind of deep level of work and they do understand, someone comes to them and they say, hey, I hate you. That person is going to feel neutral. They are not going to feel happy or sad, because they would understand whatever this person is saying to me, it's their own inner turmoil. It has nothing to do with me, because they have taken ownership of themselves, that when I feel resentful, it's me feeling resentful. It's not because someone else did something to me. It's my way of processing it. So if someone is feeling resentful towards me, it's also their own inner responsibility. But you cannot see that unless you became that honest with yourself. So I create my thoughts, feelings, and actions. Third one, I own and do not blame. So whenever you're feeling anything, whenever you just want to go out and blame everyone, that's when you just own it. Hey, I am the one who's creating it. I'm the one who's responsible the way I'm feeling, and it's nobody's fault. I own it. When you get to that level of honesty with yourself, or that kind of ownership with yourself, others can feel the power around you. Like, you don't even have to say a word, they can feel what a strong person you are, because what they are feeling, the energy that's around you. You're keeping all your energy at home, and when you're keeping all the energy at home, they can feel the strength of that soul, that magnificent, unlimited soul that you are, and you're in this body. They can feel that power. I'm not sure if you have ever experienced that you're around a person who's really deeply developed. They don't get derailed by little things here and there. And just sitting with them, you just feel like, what a powerful person. They didn't even say anything. So that's how you become yourself too. So the next one is, I can explain but do not complain result, circumstances, and my actions. So let's say you didn't get somewhere on time. So you can say, like, yes, I didn't get here on time because, maybe I didn't leave from home on time, or maybe I didn't leave enough room for stuck traffic. Or you can say, it's the traffic in this area. And I live in an area of high stuck traffic. It's very easy to blame the traffic. But if I will blame, I let go of my power. But if I'll say, hey, I am sorry, I am late, and I just didn't give myself enough time, and not blaming anything, just being present for that moment, the other person is going to feel the power of that, because what happened? You kept the power with you. You did not just let it leak all around you. The next one is, I refuse to take anything personally. Now, this is my favorite one. Took me at least 4 to 5 years to really fully embody it. When we take things personally, we are again letting go of that power to the other person who's doing to that. Also, we are not taking ownership of ourselves, or not, we are not realizing I am creating it. So everyone has the right to think whatever they want to think about me, because they are creating their own experience. And I have the right to think whatever I want to think about anybody, because I'm creating my experience. If I expect someone to love me just as much as I love myself, it's almost like I want to interfere and change their world. Hey, you need to change so you can see me this way. The way the universe is created, if you pay attention to it, everything lives in harmony. Like, just look at our solar system. Nothing collides in anything. Everything is in harmony because everything has its own field. It's almost like they're a universe of their own. You are a universe of your own. I am a universe of my own. I am not going to expect other people to change for my universe, to fit into my universe. So I refuse to take anything personally, because when they don't like me, I don't take that personally based on that principle. So this, if you get offended a lot, I will say write it on a piece of paper and look at it every single morning. Maybe put it somewhere you can see the first thing you open your eyes in the morning. I refuse to take things personally. If you just develop that little bit, you're gonna keep so much power home, so much power. And you can make miracles happen with that power, my friend. Okay, number 6 is I alone create and choose to be happy. So when I work with a lot of single people too, who are looking for love, and they feel like when I find that love, I'm gonna be so happy. But the truth is, no, that is the illusion that we live with. No one can make you happy. If right now you're feeling lonely, miserable, resentful, even after you find the love of your life, you're going to feel lonely, resentful, and miserable within yourself. You're not going to feel that sense of love, because only you can give it to yourself. Now, that is the truth, but realizing that is the truth is going to help you keep all the power at home. Number 7 is I live in the present and not in the past. So what I want you to do with all of these, if you can, take notes with all of them, just write these 10 and put them somewhere where maybe you can read them every day, at least for 7 days, or if you can do 30 days. So it's a repetition. You're telling yourself, hey, I want to live according to this blueprint now. I want to think according to these guidelines now. And then you keep reminding, I live in the present. If you make that decision, let's say you're at a gathering with your friends, and then, maybe in the past, something bad has happened between you and your, maybe some other friend, but in that moment, you're getting triggered. Just by the coziness of it, you're getting triggered, and you remember the friend you used to have 10 years ago that you don't have. In that moment, as soon as you catch it, you declare to yourself, I live in the present moment, not in the past. When we go to the past, we leak so much energy that we don't even realize. The same thing about future. When we go and worry about our future, we are leaking so much energy that we don't even realize. Look at it this way. You're a rubber band that can stretch. The more you stretch it, the looser it starts to get. If you keep stretching it, at some point it can even break. That's how your own energy field is too. When you're going in the past, it is requiring energy. And people who usually live in the past, they feel very tired all the time. And then they're just like, I don't know why I feel so tired all the time. They're trying energy drinks, they're trying this. But what has to change, where we are living inside of our head. Number 8, I create my intention. So every single day, when you're waking up, and you're creating your intention for the day, you're creating intention for this is who I want to be, this is what I want to do today, and you're not letting the circumstance dictate that. That's when you get to have your power. Let's say if I just wake up in the morning and I have no calendar, I have no plan, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna let this day happen. How wonderful that day would be. If something happened and I'm reacting to that and I have no guideline how I'm going to stay in my center, what do I need to do next? You're going to feel like a feather floating in the air. And that can feel very uncomfortable. Now, if you're on vacation and you're just like, I'm not going to decide anything, I'll let anything happen. That I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about day to day. And then the day ends and you're like, I feel like a total loser. I got nothing achieved. I didn't even know who to be. I kept getting angry. I kept reacting. We want to switch from that to having an intention, because what intention does, it directs your energy in a direction. So you have a focus on, oh, this is how I'm going to show up. And you'll be surprised the things you'll be able to achieve, who you will be able to become with the power of intention and your focus and that fully force driven energy. I have personally been through moments which I thought were impossible to go through, but I've been able to go through them because I did set an intention. I decided this is who I'm going to be, this is how I'm going to show up. Last two. So number 9 is I am calm and confident. It's a declaration. When you wake up in the morning and you just declare, I am going to be a calm and confident person today, it's going to run your thoughts in a very different way. Whenever you'll have thoughts of, negative self-talk, you can right away switch to, I am calm and confident. And the more you keep repeating it, the more you're going to see that the way you think is going to start to shift. This way of thinking, this empowered way of thinking, where you get to keep all the power at home, it's going to, over time, rewire your unconscious mind, because anything you're repeating over and over and over in your mind, eventually your unconscious mind think, oh, that's who I am. If you keep saying I'm a confident person, eventually that is the power of affirmation as well. It eventually starts believing it. And once it starts believing it, that is the program now it's running. With affirmation, it does take so much longer, but if you do the inner work, the groundwork that creates your foundation, you can make that happen in a shorter period of time. But just declaring I am calm and confident is going to keep you centered. The last one is I look for good in others. Oh my God, this is my most favorite and most beautiful way of thinking. You could have had people who hurted you, cheated on you, treated you the worst way possible. But if you decide, I'm going to see the good in this person, and I am not talking about being a doormat and letting other people take advantage of you. I'm talking about getting to a place where you decided, I'm going to see the good in this person. The framework I teach my client is see the God in another person. When you get focused on seeing the God in another person, you're seeing more of that. You start to see their good qualities and you don't focus on all the bad that they have done to you. If you are at a place that you want to just completely cut off, you never want to see that person again, yes, you can do that, but you will still stay energetically connected to them. Part of the forgiveness process would be, can you see the good? Can you look for the good in that person in every situation? When you are thinking from that filter, from that way of being, that I'm going to look for good in every person, in every situation, you hardly have bad days. Because even if you end up having a flat tire on a snowy day, you'll be like, oh, there would be something good that will come out of it, because that just becomes your way of being. You're not going to blame the weather. You're not going to blame yourself for not getting it fixed earlier. And you also get to be in the present moment. So my friends, these were the 8 ways that take away your personal power and 10 ways you get to keep your power. I really hope that you enjoyed and you benefit from them. Again, if you're ready to do this kind of work, this deep work where you can resolve those inner conflicts and you can actually mostly or permanently move towards thinking in an empowered way, please reach out to me. If you're again finding this random video somewhere, just Google Alia the Love Coach. And if we are already friends, just send me a DM and I would be honored to take you on this path. So that is all for today. Have a happy new year and I'll see you in the next year. And now I'm going to stop the recording.